Have you ever imagined that the most famous stars on the planet could become invisible in a crowd? From The Rock being stopped at the airport, Keanu Reeves riding the subway, to Jennifer Lawrence being criticized. These are the funniest and most surprising moments when celebrities go completely unrecognized. If you enjoy these laugh-out-loud situations, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment below which star surprised you the most.
5 Jennifer Lawrence movies.
I know. Who is that bitch?
You asked me about Aniston, I could tell you.
Right.
The Rock, one of the most famous action stars in the world, was once unrecognized by airport security. Despite his muscular build and distinctive face, he was still pulled aside for a private check like any ordinary passenger. No one at the airport at that moment knew that the person being screened was Dwayne Johnson, The Rock.
Remember the skit where you brought out the coaches and your girlfriend and like you told you?
Keanu Reeves rode the subway like an ordinary person. He wore headphones, played music, and even gave up his seat for someone else to stand. Subway staff even asked him to turn off the music, thinking he was just a disruptive passenger. No one realized that he was the star of The Matrix and John Wick. When he was very young, before becoming an NBA superstar, LeBron James worked at a pizza shop and later as a delivery driver. During that time, no one recognized who he was. Customers and co-workers just thought he was an ordinary young man working hard to earn money.
So, spicy, man. For a name like Fernando, got to be spicy.
Whole variety of sauces.
Ron.
We got a Ron and a Ron.
You got a Ron, right? Oh, that's a Ron and a Ron?
We got a Ron and a Ron.
How you doing, Ron? I'm Ron.
Namesake, man.
Jennifer Lopez returned to her childhood home hoping for a touching moment. She introduced herself. "I'm Jennifer. I used to live upstairs." However, the locals just looked at her with blank faces and asked, "Which Jennifer?" Their indifferent reaction surprised her quite a bit.
5 Jennifer Lawrence movies.
I know. Who is that bitch?
You asked me about Aniston, I could tell you.
Right, Jennifer Aniston.
Katy Perry joined a museum tour with a group of visitors. She stood right in front of an artwork, but no one recognized her as the famous artist. When asked, "Are you the artist?" people still couldn't guess her true identity.
Yeah, actually, I feel like I might know who that is.
Who do you think it is?
That looks like Katy Perry.
Miley Cyrus.
Mike Shinoda was interviewed by a reporter on the street who didn't know his name. The reporter asked questions very casually, and only when Mike introduced himself, "I play in a band called Linkin Park," did she get shocked and react in complete surprise.
I'm a little bit like a fish out of water in a sense, but I am excited to be here.
Okay, you came up here, you didn't tell me your name, so I don't know your name.
My name is Mike Shinoda. I play in a band called Linkin Park. She didn't know that.
Britney Spears met Ed O'Neill at the airport and asked to take a photo together. He thought she was just an ordinary fan, so he happily agreed. The photo later went viral. It wasn't until the next day, when the manager sent the photo and said it had over 53,000 likes, that Ed O'Neill realized it was Britney Spears.
Bye.
So you had no idea it was Britney Spears? No. You really had no idea?
So the next day, my manager...
At a birthday party, Taylor Swift greeted Ed O'Neill warmly. He responded normally and didn't recognize who she was. Later, he even had to text his daughter to ask her name because he couldn't remember at all that the person who took a photo with him was Taylor Swift.
And she said, "I'm having you committed."
So you really didn't recognize
No.
Taylor Swift?
No.
Offset was pulled over by the police for tinted windows. He tried to use his fame to get out of it by saying, "I'm Offset from Migos." However, the officer calmly asked who's Offset and still demanded he step out of the car for a search and even arrested him.
She just read my tags. I just watched her read my tags. What's your last name? Cephas. How you spell that? C-E-P-H-U-S. And what's your first name, Mr. Cephas? You already read my tags. What is it?
Daniel Radcliffe worked as a receptionist, filling in at an office building for several hours. Many people complimented his hair, chatted cheerfully, and asked to take photos without realizing he was Harry Potter. He stood there completely like an ordinary employee. Steven Tyler stood calmly listening to a group of people singing a famous Aerosmith song. At first, no one recognized him. Eventually, he couldn't resist, stepped in to sing along, and completely surprised everyone around him. Kesha met Jerry Seinfeld and was excited to hug him. However, Jerry awkwardly kept declining. Later, he realized it was Kesha. Kesha later shared that it was one of the saddest moments of her life.
Kesha, I love you so much.
Oh, thanks.
Can I give you a hug?
No, thanks.
Please?
No, thanks.
A little one.
Yeah, no, thanks.
Willem Dafoe wore a Green Goblin costume while walking on the streets of New York. A street interviewer approached and asked about the outfit. He introduced himself as an actor, but the interviewer still didn't recognize him as Willem Dafoe.
What's your name and where you from?
Willem Dafoe. I'm from Wisconsin.
Ooh, Wisconsin is in the house. Stop playing with them.
I'm from.
Dwayne Wade only needed to wear a simple wig to look completely different. He appeared in public and almost no one recognized this famous NBA star. Orlando Bloom was introduced to Billie Eilish, but she had no idea who he was. Later, Billie admitted it and even joked, "Why is he so skinny?" She completely didn't recognize the famous actor.
My fiance. I'm a huge fan of my fiance who doesn't listen to.
Tony Hawk stood by encouraging a young skateboarder to perform difficult tricks. He gave enthusiastic guidance, but the young man had no idea that the person talking to him was the skateboarding legend Tony Hawk.
I'm Eric Costin. All right.
Emilia Clarke is often overlooked when standing next to her famous Game of Thrones co-stars like Kit Harington. Many people hand her a camera to take a photo and ask who is the girl with him without realizing she is Daenerys Targaryen.
No, I don't get recognized. Truly, I'll be walking with Kit Harington, plays Jon Snow, or Gwen, who plays Brienne of Tarth.
Aaron Judge only needed to wear a simple pair of glasses to completely change his appearance. Many people standing near him still couldn't believe he was the famous New York Yankees baseball star.
Player right now, Adam Judge.
Adam Judge.
That's crazy.
Lewis Hamilton, a legendary Formula One driver, was almost stopped by security staff at an event. Despite being one of the most famous athletes in the world, he was still questioned and checked like an ordinary person, surprising many when they learned his true identity. Paul McCartney, the legendary member of the Beatles, was left out of a post-Grammy party. Despite being a famous Beatle, he wasn't recognized by the organizers and was nearly denied entry, having to make a call to get confirmed before being allowed in.
I didn't know you were here.
Do you have a favorite?
Okay, I need my.
Usain Bolt, the fastest man on the planet, was not recognized when he attended a competition event. Even the most passionate fans overlooked him, giving the Jamaican Lightning a rare experience of being an ordinary person. Kylie and Kendall Jenner decided to go eat fast food like two ordinary girls. They stood in line and ordered simply without anyone paying attention or recognizing them. This was a rare moment when the Kardashian-Jenner sisters were treated like regular customers. Drake was almost kicked out of a party because no one recognized him. Despite being a music superstar, security staff and guests looked at him with suspicion, and he had to explain his identity before being allowed in. The entire Cleveland Cavaliers team had to squeeze onto the New York subway like regular passengers. They were treated no differently from the locals, and some even commented that a player looked a bit odd, completely unaware they were NBA stars. Jay-Z sat on the subway and caught the attention of a woman sitting next to him. She noticed people around staring at him oddly but didn't recognize him as Jay-Z. She even cheerfully asked about his destination, completely unaware he was one of the greatest rappers of all time.
Not very famous, you don't know me. But I'll get there someday. My name is Jay. What's your name?
You're stopped at a red light and suddenly see Shia LaBeouf sitting in the car next to you, staring over. He greets you friendly, "How are you?" but most people at that moment don't recognize him as the famous actor from Transformers.
Have a good one.
Randy Blythe, the lead singer of the metal band Lamb of God, appeared at his own event, but the security staff had no idea who he was. He had to introduce himself, saying, "I'm the singer, thank you for doing a great job," while everyone still looked skeptical.
I don't matter, because I'm great and I'm a singer, so thank you for doing your job.
Arnold Schwarzenegger wore a wig and a thick mustache, making him almost unrecognizable. When appearing in public, he chatted with people normally and was even treated like a complete stranger.
How many miles are you running?
Oh my God. Hi.
Bill Gates, one of the richest people in the world, was spotted crossing the street looking casual. No one suspected that the man dressed plainly was the billionaire founder of Microsoft, making the moment amusing and surprising. Adam Levine disguised himself as a traffic control officer and handed out parking tickets to everyone. The tickets he gave out were actually passes to a Maroon 5 concert. Many people received the tickets without realizing the person handing them out was the famous singer.
Well, I guess I can.
No, you can't.
Agree to disagree.
Oh, wait a second.
If you enjoyed these funny and surprising moments, give this video a like to support me. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you won't miss the next funny compilation videos. Comment below and tell me which star surprised you the most by going unrecognized: Keanu Reeves, Taylor Swift, Jennifer Lawrence, or Daniel Radcliffe. I'll read and reply to every comment. Thanks for watching the entire video. See you in the next one, and I hope everyone has a really great day.